Hi everyone, and welcome back to Hit or Miss Hallmark Movie Reviews. I'm Daniela.
And I'm John. Let's get into it.
Right away. Look at us getting into things really quickly. There's no time to waste here. What are we doing today?
Today we are reviewing
A Tale of Two Christmases.
Like a multiverse plot here? All right, well, why don't we find out? What's this one about?
Emma, played by Katherine Barrell, experiences two different Christmases. One where she stays in town and celebrates with a new crush, Max, played by Evan Roderick, and one where she returns home to her family and Drew, a family friend, played by Chandler Massey. She will finally discover what will really make her happy in life and in love, as they always do.
Can it be both?
You think so, right?
I mean, the whole movie I was just cheering for.
Can't have it all.
I know.
You can't have it all. So
what do we think?
I'm a big fan of the sliding doors motif. And if you don't know what that means, there was a movie, I think it was in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, with Gwyneth Paltrow called Sliding Doors. And it had this multi-timeline, multi-storyline motif. And
Flip booky.
yeah, and usually this kind of story involves some sort of like magic, especially in the Hallmark world. I would assume it would involve some sort of
Well,
magic,
in the Hallmark
which
world,
I love.
it's always Santa magic.
It's always Santa magic, and I'm always on the magic train, you know that. Mm-hmm. But two storylines and multiple timelines, you know, it's always a bit tricky to pull off well.
I said this in the first 5 minutes of the movie. I was like, well, everybody like over 60, 65, like all their long-term viewers are gonna be like completely...
Might be a bit confusing. It has the potential to be confusing. That's why it's hard to do it well.
Yeah, but I applaud the try.
I applaud the try. But in this case, I just don't think the differences between the two storylines was drastic enough.
No, absolutely
Do you know what I
not.
mean?
It's like,
Yeah.
you're used to like seeing this as like the family man.
Yeah, that's like what your life could have
That one,
been.
or there was
you
one with-
wake up in a different reality.
Yeah, well, there's the one with Terry Hatcher and where it's like, this is what would happen if you took the job and weren't with her.
Exactly,
So like,
yeah.
actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess this story was kind of that choice first. You weren't getting like the backstory, like, oh, what if you had 6 kids and like not as much money?
Yeah.
But she was getting like the choice right away.
Someone knocks her over and that makes her miss her train, right? And in the other scenario, that doesn't happen. That's what starts the two timeline, the differences in the two timelines, right?
But Santa did that.
But Santa was behind it all, so that's where the magic comes in. And, like I know this one, for one of the storylines, she's home, and in the other one, she stays in Chicago, and then there are 2 different love interests. But I just felt like they weren't different enough to warrant 2 separate timelines.
I mean, they definitely
Right?
were because
Like-
it was the choice, but they just didn't make one of them
One of them
glaringly.
wasn't bad, yeah.
Exactly. Well,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
quite honestly, most of the movie, rich Chicago guy, that was like a good
seems perfect.
move up in the career for her. Yeah, like he was perfect. I was like, the whole movie I was saying, he better like end up being a murderer or something because there's no way they can like legitimize not going with him.
Like some sort of disastrous thing typically happens in one of them, right?
Yeah, but there was nothing like that with him. It was like she didn't like one of the parties he threw or something like stupid like that. And then later on in the movie, you find out that she only got into her field because her dad wanted her to because he never went to college.
I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, like maybe something disastrous doesn't have to happen.
No.
It doesn't have to be like completely bleak on one side because then it's like, well, obviously, like I wish the other one was the reality, right? It might be more of a challenge and more difficult and more realistic if both were okay.
Oh, like make it actually a hard decision.
And make it like a hard decision. I just don't know if like it makes for a good movie.
I think the movie played well, and like even like the direction and like the way they told the story with the 2 timelines wasn't jagged really. Like it actually did make sense.
It didn't feel too disjointed.
I like that they cut her
right?
hair in one.
Yeah, that was good. That was also a nod to Sliding Doors, by the way, because Gwyneth Paltrow does the pixie cut in one of the storylines.
Makes sense.
So for sure, this was an inspiration. Like,
yeah,
I think so.
I find it weird that I've never even heard of that movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
I'm not like
I love
a
it. That's
huge
why I'll
Gwyneth Paltrow fan, though.
always reference the Sliding Doors if I see this kind of movie.
Yeah.
And I love the idea. As I said, I just don't know if like there was enough of a story here, like in both scenarios.
No, I don't think
Do you
so
know
either.
what I mean?
It was
Like,
just kind of like the inevitable she chooses to go back home.
Like clearly that's the right choice to go back home, to go with the good guy, the family friend, whatever, you know.
Should we talk about performances?
Yeah, let's talk about performances. So the standout for me here was Drew. I liked him. He was played by Chandler Massey, like a down-to-earth kind of good guy, not flashy or over the top, just like a hardworking blue-collar dude. you know, who
Yeah.
does the right thing and is a good guy, like no extremes. And you know, that's very hard to do. It's very hard to do well.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he played it perfectly. But I just found his character kind of boring for the first half of the movie. I was like, oh, I mean.
It could be boring. It could come across as boring.
But
yes.
no, he wasn't boring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he played it perfectly. It was just like the writing. I found his character more boring. It was like, oh well, there was no inkling to say that she wanted to go home and that she had any attachment to this guy. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, like I didn't feel if there was supposed to be a history between them. I didn't feel that.
No, yeah, not much of one.
No. So the attraction, like, it wasn't as strong as I would have liked it to be. Like, I don't know.
I mean, it got there, and I like that they were like,
Yeah.
oh, you liked me, I didn't like you. Well, that, you know, that has to happen.
I guess it just wasn't strong enough for me. You know, it wasn't like memorable
But anyways,
enough.
Chandler Massey, I think he was the stand-up for me as well.
Oh, good, okay.
I mean, I really liked Barrell.
She was great too. I
Yeah,
really
she was
liked her.
awesome.
And I don't even really recall her in any other Hallmark movies.
No, I don't think so. I think this might have been.
So that's cool. Some fresh faces
Yeah, she was
there.
really
Yeah.
good. Yeah, she was live tweeting last night as well.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Yeah. So, you know, like enjoyable, easy. They took a really cool premise that I love to see in a film, which is very hard to do well, and they did a pretty good job with it. Pretty good.
I mean, you know, we like conceptual sci-fi and stuff like that, so I
Yes.
wanted like 10 timelines. I wanted like
I know, right?
cubes and
Well, they got to keep it simple for
Yeah,
sure.
no, I know.
For sure. Sometimes, you know, in life there isn't like usually crazy extremes and crazy like disastrous things that happen. So yeah, maybe they were just leaning more on the realistic side of things. I don't know.
Yeah,
They did an okay job with it.
It did feel quite realistic.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Should we get a little nitpicky?
Yeah. So my only nitpicky was when they first meet in the elevator, is that their actually first meeting? Because then he invites her to go on a ski trip somewhere that they need to fly to. Just feel like, whoa, like you just met someone and now you're
Yeah, the timelines
Getting on a
there were a
plane with
little
them?
jumbled. They probably said it. I mean, that's why it would have made more sense if he was like a murderer.
Yeah, I wasn't very clear on that. Like,
No,
was it?
don't really have to overthink it, really, I guess.
I know.
It's like, you know.
But it just wasn't very clear, right?
I did notice that one thing in the one timeline, everybody was wearing sky blue.
Yeah, you did mention that.
Like every sweater
The
she had, her
color
mom was
blue.
wearing it. There was like blue. They were
Yeah.
definitely just trying to separate them because it's like, okay, well, this will be confusing just watching it. So
The
cutting her
color
hair and
blue.
doing that, like all those choices were
Very
pretty
prominent. I wonder what that means. Why blue?
good. Blue is calm.
Why don't we talk about the writer and the director? The writers here are Kylan Busby? Silent? Kylan? I'm not sure. And she doesn't have any other writing credits on her IMDb page, so that's interesting.
New blood.
I guess so. The other writer here is Nancy Katz. Also no other writing credits, but ton of other like production and second unit director
yeah.
credits. So new writers, which is cool.
I mean, new blood everywhere.
Yeah, that's
which is
great.
That's actually really good, and
great.
it's feeling very fresh this year, and you know, to some people's dismay, but you know,
Oh, well.
you gotta get with it, I guess.
Hallmark's doing a great job. Like, they're churning out great movies.
Oh, for sure.
Some are better than others, for sure. Some are more well developed in terms of story and character, but for the most part, they're all great.
Yeah.
Yeah. The director here is Jason Bork.
Yeah. Definitely more. As a hockey name,
Bork.
right?
Oh my God. Other credits include My Favorite Christmas Tree, which is new this year, My Family Christmas Tree, and Snowed In for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Some good ones
I
there.
mean, I did like the direction of this. I thought like it tackled any of.
It was
the,
tough, as I said. Like it's a tough one to do well.
Yeah, they did the time. They did the timelines and they did the pacing. Everything was great. It was just
I mean,
the
the
story wasn't
swipe-
necessarily
Is a little, what's the word? Like,
cliche. I like this. I like this one.
It's an easy way to show it. It's easy. That's why the transitions, yes, they work, and yes, they're simple, and maybe that's needed for like a Hallmark movie. I just have seen it done better and without the swipe.
This is a good middle ground of like, okay, it worked.
I get it. It does the job. It does the job. So why don't we get to our Christmas meter? Yes.
Bring her up.
Here we go. So I'm going to give A Tale of Two Christmases 6 Geese a Laying. Not awful, but not really a hit, I would say.
Fair. I'm gonna give
Oh.
A Tale of Two Christmases 8 Maids of Milking. Just because I was thinking of a lot of stuff when I was watching this movie. I was yelling at the screen a lot, trying to tell her to go to the Chicago guy, and just like it felt like an interactive.
You got
movie.
invested in it, I
Yeah,
guess, and I didn't as much as I wanted to. So yeah. So why don't we get to our Hallmark checklist, Christmas checklist?
Let's roll through it. I'll start.
Okay.
Christmas confusion.
Well, kind of, right?
absolutely.
So yes, it's not our traditional Christmas confusion.
Character of the holiday name. Yes, her friend was named Holly.
Oh, good. I missed that one. Reference to decorating or picking out the perfect tree. Yes. I believe so.
This weekend is definitely when we need the checklist.
Guys,
for
they're all
ourselves.
blending
It's
together.
like,
It's
all...
This weekend in particular was quite difficult to manage everything. So I hope these reviews are still up to par, but sorry if they're not. Promise we'll get back to normal.
Ice skating.
I don't think so. I didn't see.
No.
Yeah. Santa makes an appearance. Yes.
Yes. Ho, ho, ho.
So character obsessed with Christmas. No, I wouldn't say obsessed. What do you think?
No.
I don't think so.
Nobody overboard. Hot beverage.
Yes. A horse-drawn sleigh.
No. Christmas in the title. Yes.
Plural. Granted a Christmas wish. Yes.
Is that her wish, though?
Well, I mean, I would say it's a wish, right?
Yeah, but it's kind of more like Santa meddling. Like Nicolas Cage didn't wish for that.
So you're
and
saying
Family
no.
Man, right?
You're saying no.
I'm saying no. These
What
movies
you
are
would like.
usually more about the intervention, where it's like some character comes in and is like, well, what if?
Okay, so let's take that. I retract it.
All right.
Retract it. I retract my yes. Okay. A snowball fight. No.
No. Sure? I feel like there was one. Christmas caroling.
Yes, there was actually quite a funny scene where they go to her aunt's house, who's suffering some sort of
Oh yeah, there was
dementia.
some chore where they had to deliver pudding to her.
Yes, and she thought they were carolers, and when they weren't caroling, she got very, very upset. So then Drew busts out his guitar, and they start singing, and I kind of liked it.
That scene was pretty funny.
It was funny. It was a good scene. That was a great scene.
He was also actually playing, which is nice.
Oh, good. It was a good scene. Christmas magic, yes.
Definitely.
Yes, Santa.
Mistletoe kiss. Yes.
It was great.
They had a mistletoe almost kiss and then a mistletoe kiss. And
Yeah,
then...
that was good. I liked that. Real snow. Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
This is also, we have to take these with a grain of salt because usually it's probably not real snow.
A grain of snow.
A grain of snow, yes. Good one.
A flake of snow.
But we're saying it looked like real snow.
Yeah. No, if we didn't notice.
So yeah, I mean, you know what? A good movie, not a great one. They did a good job with a really tricky kind of format.
Yeah, definitely worth a watch.
Worth a watch,
See if it-
very easy, very lighthearted, very entertaining. A creative kind of concept, something different.
Yeah.
Which is good.
I liked it. Now, if we can get like a super multiple timelines one. Nice.
Something a little more sophisticated, more
We'll have to wait a
advanced.
couple years for that.
Let us know what you thought of this one. Did you guys watch it?
Where on the Christmas meter did it rate for you?
Let us know in the comments below.
And we'll see you next episode.
Bye.
Bye.